welcome back to the Clubhouse 54 podcast. I am Michael Little. To my right, Drew Lockhart. We have a special guest with us here tonight. He is the Director of Instruction at Radley Run Country Club in Westchester, PA. Nick Biondi. Nick, welcome to our podcast.
Good to be here with you, boys.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
So,
To get into it.
yeah, so Nick and I, we met over the winter here, and we hit it off pretty quickly. We've spent a lot of time together. We spent a lot of phone conversations together, and you have a very unique story, and it's a special one, and I think all of our viewers should hear that. So I know it. I don't want to speak for you, but I want you to get into that a little bit for us, and let's learn about who Nick Biondi is.
Yeah, so Nick Biondi grew up in Moosic, Pennsylvania, Scranton, about a suburb outside of Scranton, so about 10, 15 minutes outside of downtown. Grew up playing golf, loving the game. Grew up, my grandparents raised my brother and I. We come from kind of a different background. Both of our parents were sort of drug addicted, and we got lucky enough to have great grandparents to raise us, so it was just a really awesome upbringing. I grew up at a golf club there, Glenmar National Golf Club in Scranton, in Moosic. Learned the game early and have been playing ever since. It's my 22nd season playing golf, so I love the game, love to help people get better, and love to play.
22nd season playing. How old are you, Nick?
I was going to say, how old is this guy?
I'm 27. Gonna be 28 in October.
Nice. So they put a club in your hand at 5 years old.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I hate
Little
you.
little plastic club, played. Yeah. Ran around. Mostly for frogs. I was searching for frogs from like 5 to 7 or 8.
Nice. So you can remember those days.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So you like frogs?
Driving.
We can't skip over that. He said I was searching for frogs, but I got to say, you must like frogs.
Not psychedelics, Drew. Come on, man. Gosh, damn. I could swear on here.
I've
right?
never
Is that
licked
okay?
the back of a frog, just to give you a shout out. I've never done that. I've thought about it, but I never did.
Oh my goodness. So just so everyone knows, we are at night now. Normally we record in the morning, like 10:30 a.m. It's almost 9 p.m. now. So Drew's gonna be a little more fun tonight.
Shout out Mason Dixon.
Shout out to Mason Dixon. Boy, they have such a great product, man. And in fact, in a little bit, we're going to do a little toast to Mason Dixon. But let's get back to you, Nick. Tell us. Tell me. Let me ask you a question. So, how is it working at Radner Run?
It's good. It's really good. Yeah. John Arthur gave me an opportunity there off of Mike Little's opinions of me, and a couple other nice big wigs in the industry spoke kind of highly of me. So it's been great. The members are awesome. I enjoy it. I love teaching. I love helping. I love coaching. Working with a couple of the good juniors over there. So it's a treat. It's a real treat.
Let's actually go backwards a little bit, if you don't mind. I want to go back into like 5, 7, right, when you started playing golf, and how golf has had an influence on your life, and the people in your life to help you. You said your parents were drug addicts, correct?
Yeah.
So like how was that as a kid? Like when did you find that out? When can you talk us through all that?
I can work you through it. So yeah, basically I never really realized anything was like different. I knew all the pieces were there. They were just all fucking rearranged. I never knew that anything was like really going on. My mother had MS, so she was a quadriplegic, so she couldn't move any of her limbs. So basically I don't have a mental recollection for walking.
Wow.
Yeah, so for me, I never really realized that there was a problem. I just realized that my grandparents loved my brother and I. They took care of us. I never had any problems at all, like throughout my entire life. Getting a little bit older, like maybe 12, 13, 14, 15, realizing that wasn't really quite normal. But golf has always been my outlet. It's always been my release, my passion, right? I'm just so passionate about the game of golf, so it's always been my outlet.
So during that time, were you on the golf course like for most of your days? Is that basically where you
My
lived
summers
at that
were
point?
spent at Glenmara. Yeah,
Okay.
I grew up. They had a nationwide event there for like 10 or 11 years. I grew up there, hanging out with like D.A. Wybring and watching Roland Thatcher, who was leading the money list at the time. Just watching these guys kind of like do their thing. Andres Romero, I remember watching, but just like Brad Adamonis is another name. I have to mention him. Brad's the man. Got to compete against Brad a little bit as well, which is just awesome. But yeah, I grew up basically just at the golf course, like 8 in the morning, 8 at night at the golf course. They'd come get me. We'd have dinner. I'd go back down. We'd have dinner at the club. It was Awesome.
So what's your passions in the winter then?
Golf. Yeah, I put in a little setup in my basement, right? Like a hitting area, just how Clubhouse 54 is here. But yeah, that's what I would do. I didn't ski or snowboard. I would hit golf balls inside.
Wow. So you're in basically Scranton, PA.
Yeah.
You got Montage Mountain.
Yeah, there's a ski mountain right there. Ski
Yeah,
resort
right there, right?
Yep.
Like you basically go there for the office, right? And you go there for Montage Ski Resort.
Yeah,
right?
the Pocono Mountains are 35 minutes away, so some really great skiing. But I was always too afraid to break an arm or break a leg, so
Wow.
I never went. I would just play golf.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it. I'm still that way. I'm still very much that way. Like I don't take certain risks because I'm like, springtime's coming up. I gotta be ready to go, man.
I get it. My wife won't let me snowboard anymore because of that reason.
Yeah.
No,
It was funny because, when I was in high school, it was all state and skiing and snowboarding. And, it was something that, I had a passion for.
Yeah.
And, all the accolades that come with, being all state and all these things. And it's funny because I was in Tennessee. And
Wait, are you being serious?
And they didn't really have any snow down there. So to be all state in a place that didn't have snow, that's a big thing. And so now that I'm in a place where there is snow, or actually we didn't get any snow this year as a, golfing professional, we love December, January, February, March to have some downtime. We had none of that. But to be somebody that likes to ski, I can't snowboard worth a shit. And you guys can bleep that out if you want to. But skiing, I love it. Absolutely love it. But I stopped because once I got in the golf business, it's like I need my fingers.
Yeah.
I need my hands. I need my legs. I need to be able to do that. So there's certain risk as a golf professional that we just don't take anymore.
Remember when I fell down the stairs and almost broke my ankle?
I wasn't actually there, but I got the text from everybody that was there, and then I got the picture of your ankle, and I was like, who beat you? Because it looked like someone beat you with a bat. That ankle was so swollen, but, you're Stumbleina when it comes to, like, walking downstairs. Like you fell.
No, it's because I was in these terrible golf shoes, and it was wooden stairs, and the spike caught, and I rolled my ankle. All right,
I don't know.
Who
man.
wears spikes
dude,
just
I was
randomly?
I was playing golf that day, I think,
They weren't metal spikes.
and I was
No,
coming in
they
from playing golf, and I had something to do. I think I had a meeting, and I had to get some paperwork real quick in the office. Grab the paperwork, and I'm running downstairs, and boom. And then I'm in the hospital, a half an hour later.
He's got a boot on.
Dude, oh my God. Kevin carried me. Oh, it was great.
The Ross Master.
Yeah, the Rossi.
Kevin Rossi is the man, by the way.
He's the best.
Shout out, Kev.
So who were your influences then in Scranton, other than, you're talking about the nationwide tour at the time, but did you have any mentors and any golf professionals there that kind of took you under your wing and knowing, your upbringing and, what was happening in your life to help you, through this and especially giving you therapy?
For sure, yeah. So most of the time it was like Cleve Coldwater, who was the head pro at the club for 25 plus years. Cleve and I spent a lot of time together just hitting golf balls. I'd take lessons. I'd watch him hit balls and teach a little bit. And Terry Hurst up at the Country Club of Scranton, I spent a lot of time with Mr. Hurst as well. So just a great community. The golf community in Scranton is just strong. Like everyone loves to play. And there's a lot of great players. Like we had a great group of a junior program there that if you weren't hitting at 285 off the tee, you were short. You were just short, couldn't compete.
Wow.
It was 285 plus, and we were all probably 15 to 18.
Wow.
And we just smashed it, man. Every day we just went. But the two pros, PGA guys, were Cleve Coldwater and Terry Hurst. Yeah, for sure. Cleve and I spent just a lot of time together. He's one of my greatest mentors. He was one of the guys that I called for the Radley Run job. And I was like, Cleve, what do you think? He's got a southern accent. He goes, Nicky, take the job. Worst thing that happens is you fail. He's like, you're young enough to fail.
First off, that is a terrible.
No, I can do.
Southern
How
accent.
y'all doing over there, Drew?
That's a
From Tennessee?
terrible Southern accent.
Oh my God, man! It's like maple syrup in the mouth.
We don't even like maple syrup. That's a Vermont thing. Come on. If you said Cracker Barrel, then I'd have been like, okay.
Cracker Barrel slaps, bro.
It does.
Meatloaf at Cracker Barrel.
Oh, first off, Did you just say meatloaf?
Meatloaf at Cracker Barrel. What do you
That's
get?
like getting like short ribs at IHOP. Like, come on.
What do you get?
Who gets it? Who gets that?
What do you get at Cracker Barrel?
Well, first off, breakfast.
Yeah, okay.
Number 2 is their fried chicken.
I'm talking dinner, bro.
Fried chicken, I said that. You know, their country fried steak is good, but I'm not getting
That's slamming. That's really.
I'm
good.
not getting meatloaf at
Their country fried
Cracker Barrel.
steak.
Shout out to Cracker Barrel, but your meatloaf is not on the top fucking anywhere on the menu. It should not even be on the menu.
I've done so much travel, man, playing golf that Cracker Barrel's a staple. Cracker Barrel's an absolute staple. Denny's, not Waffle House.
No,
Denny's.
no. Waffle House is only if you're drunk. Only if you're drunk and you want to get in a fight.
Yo,
that's the only 2 reasons you go to Waffle
Grand
House.
Slam breakfast at Denny's is like the
good.
best deal. Every tour player will tell you that's the best deal ever. Like $7.99 for it's a mega meal. It's the best.
What about the Rudy Tooty fruit and something at IHOP?
I know. I don't like IHOP, bro.
You don't know that?
No, I'm not an IHOP guy.
There's no Denny's around here. That's why. That's the issue.
That is a problem.
Yeah.
Denny's
They used to have. Know where Walgreens is on 39?
Yeah.
That used to be a Denny's back in the day.
We got to turn them back.
Shout out to Denny's. Y'all need to get back in business and do something. Do something.
So, all right, back to business. To Nick.
Yeah, back to Nick.
Yeah.
All right, so what age are we at now? We're at like 13, 14 years old?
Yeah, somewhere in there, yeah.
Okay. All right, so when did you then realize you were good at golf and wanted to, basically pursue it as playing?
Yeah. So basically right around that time, like 12, 13, I remember shooting we had a little Anthracite Golf is now run by the Gap Golf Association of Philadelphia, and we had some junior events that were awesome, and a lot of them were like 9 holes or whatever, but I remember shooting like 31 or 32 for 9 holes and just lit it up. It probably could have been 29. At one point I was like, man, I missed a couple of shorties. But I remember being 12 or 13 and doing that and being like, all right, this is good. And I think for me personally, I was always too afraid to say, yeah, I want to be a fucking tour player. I was just kind of nervous about it. So I said, you know what, I want to be a club pro. I felt more comfortable in that realm. I was like, you know what, that's kind of what I'll say. But in the back of my head, I mean, everyone wants to play on the PGA Tour. That's the Grand Slam, right?
Yep.
Naturally. So I remember just being like, man, that's what I really want to do. I dreamt about it, right? Dreamt about walking down the last 2-3 holes with a couple shot lead and trying to finish the job. But I mean, yeah, it was real. I was probably 12 or 13 for sure, where I was just like, man, I love golf. I knew I had some natural ability, and I knew I scored really well. But just kind of as you get older, some stuff gets into the brain, and you don't quite hit the same shots and stuff like that. But it's I just love golf. I love golf.
So do you think that because you started playing at an earlier age, you had memories in there that would affect how you played on the golf course? Or what decisions you would make?
Yeah, I'd say I had better memories. At a younger age, I had better memories. Myelin in the brain, it kind of builds up the negative thoughts, right? Of anything. It's not even just golf, but of life in general. You fall a couple times and you go, man, I really don't want to fall again.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So, yeah, it was just more or less of the more rounds I played, the more I played good or bad. It just kind of built up on me. I have pretty bad performance anxiety. When I get on the golf course, I can tell you a quick story. I'm playing, might be my first Korn Ferry Q School. I'm playing pre-qualifying. I shoot 69 or 73 the first day, 68 or 69 the second day, and the third day comes and I'm well inside this cut line, right? And I remember waking up that morning crying, cried for 30 minutes. I don't want to fucking play golf, man. This is I was almost afraid to succeed.
Wow.
Right. So, I cried like a baby.
So it wasn't all right, I'm in the cut line. I got this.
Yeah, it was weird.
Move forward. I have an opportunity to get to my dream.
Yeah, it was yeah, sort of. It was weird. It was a very weird feeling. I got very uncomfortable very fast. Long story short, I get to the 13th or 14th hole there. It's a dog leg or pretty straight hole, and it's a par 5, straightforward. The whole golf course is to the right, and there's out of bounds left. And I remember just sitting on that tee, and I started choking a little bit. I made a couple bogeys to start that backside, and I'm like, there's no way. Just make your good swing, right? And I hit this snap hook that it's probably still going left out of bounds on this hole. And I remember thinking, man, that was just so weird. The machine glitched, and that's okay. It doesn't mean it's broken, but the machine glitched. And that was the first chink in my armor as a player. Really, I never had any failures to that point, realistically.
Wow.
Nothing like that. But it was one of those things where I always knew I had a natural ability at the game. I knew that I would just kind of decide if I was going to work hard at it or not. And there's some months and some years that I did work harder than others naturally. But yeah, it was that moment in time where I was like, man, that one bad one kind of slipped in, and the rest was just like a little bit off from there. So I've been trying to fight my way back to that type of form. For 3 months before that, I don't remember shooting higher than like 73 in a round of golf. And that final round, I shoot like 78. And
Wow.
yeah, I just remember being like, that was when the switch kind of like dimmed down for me. I was like, man, that just wasn't quite right.
But that's the game of golf.
Yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
we all consider and say we've had great rounds.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael told me the other day that he shot a 64 at Bluebell. Congratulations. But you know that you can go out there at any time and probably throw up a 73 or 74. And he's shaking his head and he's like, no, I can't do that.
not at
You're
Not at
absolutely out of
Bluestone,
your
bro.
mind.
It's Bluebell now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, they changed the name?
He shot a seven. He
I
shot
changed
one
courses.
under at the old course with me at Saucon Valley, and it was like effortless. Like
Yeah.
there was no, and he was playing from behind us. By the way, I made him play behind us and give me strokes. But he still played great.
It is
but
terrible.
that's the game of golf. Like it's funny because I don't want to steal your thunder, but
No,
for
please.
me in the PATs,
Yeah.
I'll go out and I'm so nervous in the first round and I play awful. And then the second round, it's like, well, you got to be here.
Yeah.
Let's play some golf. And I generally play so much better. And it's like, why can't I do that the first round? Why can't I do that all the time?
For sure.
And I'm sure you guys know this more than me because you guys play competitive golf. But it's like some days you have it, and some days it's just like it's just not it's not there. And that is what's so great about our game is that the best in the world can go out and have a couple good days and then have one bad round or had 3 bad holes.
Wow.
And that's what's human about the game.
For sure.
And I think a lot of people don't understand that, people in the business or people that play the game, you can have 17 bad holes and then you have the 18th hole and you birdie it or you have a really good score on it and you're like, I'm coming back.
Well, no matter what, you should always be playing for pride. Even if you're out of it, you should still be playing for pride. To say, okay,
I'm always playing for pride
I'm
when
missing
I'm
the
playing
cut,
with you.
right? All right. So you have that blow up in that golf tournament,
Yeah.
but you're finishing the tournament trying to make the best scores you can come.
Yeah, I'm still sitting there like, oh shit, I might be 2 out, but maybe if I do something on the last couple, I can get back in.
There's always that hope.
Yeah, I never gave up. And my biggest takeaway of that was like, even after the fact, I was like, man, okay, my golf swing, something's wrong, so I got to reinvent it. And that was the first year that I moved down to Florida. It was my first year as a touring player. And I went to Orlando, right? Everyone says Orlando is like this mega spot for instructors. And
What year was this?
18. It was a winter of, I guess it would have been 2019. It was that winter.
Okay.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah, fall of 18 going into 19.
Okay.
So it might be January, February, and I meet an instructor down there, and I say, you know what, I got to reinvent the wheel. I'm not doing everything right, so I find the best guy in the world, what I thought was the best guy in the world, and we ran down a rabbit hole for about 6 months, and I wasn't the same until just maybe 6 months before COVID hits. Get it back again just before COVID, like back to 68, 69, sprinkle in this occasional 72, 73. And then COVID hits, world shuts down, and never really got it rolling again. Just been flat, like dead flat. And it's crazy because I'm still sitting there like, man, if I fire off like a 73, I'm like, okay, I got it. I'm getting there. Every good round, I'm like putting it in my piggy bank of like, okay, we're getting there.
Well, personally, I'm waiting for it.
Yeah.
I've seen your action. Drew's seen your
I've
action.
seen the action. I mean, when we were down in Florida, all 3 of us were down there for a trip to the reunion resort. And I'm telling you, I played with both of you. And, Michael was a little bit more impressive. But, you hit a few shots that I was just like, holy shit. Like, you hit a bunker shot.
Yeah.
That was at least 180. And you drew it out of the bunker and put it on the green, and the ball had to spin. You put it to like 15 feet, and I was just like, what in the world?
Yeah.
Like that type of shot right there is something that, again, for somebody like me, I don't see that on a regular. You know, I see somebody that'll hit a shot and be 140 out of the bunker, but you were playing that shot to be where you were, and it was, you know, to me was very impressive.
I mean, what I want to know is this: what needs to happen for you to get all that back?
That's interesting because I've been trying to figure it out, right? So if I knew, I'd be a trillionaire right now. I don't know. I think deep down, I know that I'm immensely talented, and I'm not tooting my own horn. I just know that I can hit every shot in the book. On the driving range, I hit every shot in the book. On the golf course, I can hit like every shot in the book. But it's just a scoring aspect that I just like lose. It comes and goes, and I just don't quite score as well as what I want to. I don't know what it takes. I've seen every instructor. I've seen every sports psychologist you'd probably want to see, and I just can't dial it in.
You seen Genghis?
No, Genghis is one I have not seen.
How much?
I believe in not much that he does. He's good.
I'm sorry. I always got to mention Genghis. Genghis
You mention it every time.
I just
No matter who's in here.
we just
Be a
had
chef.
a
And
funny
you're like, you know George
conversation.
Jenkins?
I'm surprised that the next Rob Hernandez.
Me and someone else, we just brought Genghis up yesterday, and we had a long conversation about kind of what he teaches and some different things. But I mean, yeah, I haven't seen Genghis.
Okay.
All right. So how much do you think it has to do with who you've been playing golf with? Like, have you been in some tough matches, some, you know, high competitive things?
No, nothing.
Like, how much of that do you feel that has a role
Dude,
in where you are right
I
now?
play once a week. I play once a week realistically, and it's in a tournament. It's in a Philadelphia section event. And I love the shout out Philly Golf. I love playing those PJ section events. They've like reinvigorated kind of what I do, but I don't have the time right now. I'm trying to build my career as a teacher, and my main goals are like currently qualify for a PGA Championship, a Ronimink, I think 2025 or 2026. And as of right now, I'm just kind of building my teaching and coaching resume and just trying to just keep it moving, trying to be on the top.
How fun
instructor
is it
list.
to play in a Philly PGA event?
They're the best.
I mean, it's so competitive.
They're the best. They're the absolute best.
As soon as you think you put up a good number, you didn't.
Oh, yeah, you didn't. Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. I got Mark Sheftick in a couple weeks. I get to play with him, and man, where are we playing?
Hyman?
Yeah.
Yeah, at Huntington Valley.
Huntington Valley, yeah. So I get to see Sheftick, who's played in a couple PGAs. So I'm excited to see like where his game is, and that's someone I've worked with in my career as a player. So
Yep.
I'm excited to see what that looks like, and hopefully battle it out and beat him or whatever. And see what
Shout out to
happens.
Mark Sheftick.
He's one of the best. Yeah,
He's coming on the pod, too,
that's great.
soon.
He's one of the best.
So, I mean, how I look at, like, as far as playing
Mm-hmm.
and getting the game together, like, our stories are totally opposite.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I started at 22, you started at 5.
Yeah.
Right? But what helped me tremendously, okay, Drew?
I just think it's so funny. You said I started at 22. You started at, pediatric 5.
It's all
So,
relative
sorry. No,
though.
it's-
Like
it is.
it's all relative.
No, it's not, because I started at 19. So like 5 and 19 is completely different.
My question is, do you think if you got off? My question for you is like, do you think?
Don't say the got off thing. Come on.
Do you
Don't
think
go
if
down
you,
that rabbit
Do you
hole.
think if you got off to a different start in the game, like, I mean, you grew up also in a little bit different era. Like, I grew up in TrackMan was like a thing, and like, if you weren't playing a 45.5-inch, like titanium big-headed drive, 460cc driver, it was like, whoa, what are you doing?
No, I grew up in times that, where other sports were more important.
Yeah,
And
Baseball,
baseball, football, soccer,
for sure.
and those kind of things. And for me, it's like I wish I'd have picked the game up that early, because I can only imagine how much further I would be in my game now.
Right.
I envy that. I think it's great that people, and that's why I love teaching kids more than I do adults.
Yeah.
Because I see that their love for the game. I went out yesterday and caddied for one of my students in a U.S. kids golf tournament outside of Newark. And there were, 30, 40, 50 kids out there. And it's awesome to see how well the game is going. and I just wish I had started young.
Yeah.
Because again, you only get so much better the more work and time you put into it.
Yeah. It's all about reps.
Yeah, it's funny that we're having this conversation. I had there's a golf pro in clubhouse today getting fit for a putter, and he was just asking me about playing and things like that. And I was like, I'm getting older, like I'm 40, and it's like my time to be a good player is getting short.
It's weird.
Short. It's
Competitively, it's weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because when I first came into section in 2009, I didn't actually start playing golf until 2011 in tournaments. But I mean, it was Stu Ingram, it was Mark Sheftick, who almost won the national club pro. I think it was that year or the next year.
Yeah.
Right. Rich Steinmetz. It was all those guys.
Yeah.
Rob Shuey. There's other guys that are no longer in our section now, right? But like, it's all those guys. They were winning every single week.
Yeah.
And it was just like, wow. And now, like, they still win golf tournaments. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But now it's like the Braden Shaddicks, the Brian Bergstalls, right? Trevor Benzel. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody, and I'm sorry, but Alex Knoll, right? And they're your winners now,
Sure.
And it's like it really has flipped, and it's like, okay, well, when I look at those guys, they're in their 20s. And I'm about to be in my 40s, other than Alex. Shout out to Alex.
Alex is great. I haven't met Alex, but he's just one of the best players. I think you always like look for the best players.
Yeah, and it's like the guys that I learned how to play golf from in Philadelphia are all those guys now that are turning 50 or are in their 50s now playing in a lot of the senior stuff.
Yeah.
And that to me was the best thing that's happened to me. Like literally, I'd want to go get beat. Like just please beat me so I can learn something from you. I loved it when I got paired with them, and it was always like the 2-day events that I always worked myself up over, because it's like, all right, go try to shoot 70, 69, 68, somewhere in that range, right? And then you'll get paired with the good guys.
Yeah.
Because they're always going to be there no matter what. Now you're paired with them. You get to see what they do second round or third round, whatever round that is. And you get to learn a ton
Definitely
on what they're doing. And that's maybe like, like you said, with COVID, the world shut down, your life changed, like
everything's flipped.
Yeah, everything flips. So maybe it's just a matter of like going out and seeing that stuff again, getting a little bit even more inspired, and maybe all of a sudden, that.
Exactly. My thing is, I remember when the light switched on for the first time. I had caddied for a guy by the name of Jesse Smith in 2013 or 14. And he had qualified for the U.S. Open and the Canadian Open. He's a Canadian. He's a close friend of mine. He's a great dude. We have a mutual friend who's a PJ member, who's a director of instruction at my club in Scranton. But I caddied for Jesse, and man, I might have been 13 or 14. It was 14 in the U.S. Open local, and he shoots like 68, flawless. And I just remember thinking like, that's it. He's a guy. So I modeled what I was doing. I modeled it after him. Maybe month and a half, 2 months later, almost qualified for the USAM. I think I missed by like 3 or 4. But I just remember being like, he's the guy that I like would almost copy my rhythm or copy my cadence. Like, he was a tour player. Jesse Smith, you can ask anyone, he's probably one of the best golf swings ever to play the Canadian Tour and never get off the Canadian Tour to the Korn Ferry or the PJ Tour.
Wow.
Like, by far, you can ask every guy who's made it, Harold Varner III, whoever. I guarantee you they'll say that guy is like still playing there, and he's like one of the best.
Wow.
What prevented him from getting to the next level?
I don't know. I caddied, and then I caddied for him again. We played in a Canadian Tour event, and I missed the cut, so I caddied for Jesse on the third and fourth day or whatever. So I don't know. He fucking pures it. I don't know. It's one of those things, man, where like certain things you can't teach, and like getting the right break at the right time, like just the right bounce at the right time, like lipping in a putt at the right time, and you make it through. It's weird.
The best seem to always make that putt at the right time.
100%. Like I said once, I was complaining about greens being aerated one time, and someone said to me, "Yeah, you do know, like Jordan Spieth would still putt awesome and like hoop every putt on aerated greens." And I was like, "Yeah, that's a good point." Stop complaining about it right then and there.
Well, let's take a local Philly guy and use him as a great example. I mean, you and I watched it this year.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the roar, U.S. Open sectionals, Chris Crawford, when he made it the first time.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he made, what was that? It was like a 65-foot putt he made to get in.
To get in.
Right? He's on the I think the 9th hole. I was on the 18th hole
Yeah.
at the time, right? He got in, and, I heard the roar. I mean, it disrupted my shot that I was hitting.
Yeah.
You and I this year, I'm caddying for you in U.S. Open local qualifying. And what's he do?
Hoops
He goes
it.
eagle birdie. He goes 3-3 to finish.
Yeah.
I mean, look, on holes that are not, they're not gimmies. They're not layups.
They're teethy holes. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And like he didn't make a putt all day.
No.
He made 2 putts to finish the round and gets in.
He's a gamer. Gamer's game. Like Steph Curry coming down the finals, like gamer's game. That's Crawdaddy is like that. He gets it done. I played with him the year before. Last hole of the locals, he had we played 2 years locals back to back. Just got paired together, same site. Just luck of the draw, and he made like a 7 or 8 footer straight downhill. Like I think it was a little right to left, but like dead downhill. If he misses it, he has 6 feet. Hoops it, gets in.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. He gets it done.
It's funny because we're sitting there and we both look at each other at the same time. We're like, this eagle putt's in.
Yeah, he's making it. Yeah,
He's making
there
it.
was zero way that he wasn't making that.
Yeah, we're
putt.
sitting there. We're just shaking our head like
Yeah.
he hits the putt and we're already walking to put the flagstick in.
Yeah.
Like game over. It's
Helen
in the
Keller
hole.
could have read the putt for him. He was just going to find a way to make it.
Exactly.
Didn't
right.
matter.
Yeah, I mean that to me that's a ton of fun to watch. We saw that out in the National Club Pro with Alex Beach as well.
Big time. Yeah.
And,
Alex
I mean,
Beach is pure.
Yeah, I mean how that was like the best round of golf I think
Yeah.
I've ever witnessed. Shoot 66 like it's nothing.
He's a Corn Ferry Tour player. Like a lot of those guys are like, and that's the fine line. And I'm still grinding. Like I'm going to go to Q school again this year. Like I'm still grinding, but a lot of those guys are just like right putt, right time, and it changes the entire trajectory of your life. Keegan Bradley is like from Stowe, Vermont, and gets it done, and he gets it done every couple of years, and he's a winner. PGA, he's a major champion. Like, you just gamer's game. They get it done at the right time, and they keep that momentum. Like it's even if it's not there, it's still there. It's weird.
Yeah.
So let's switch gears a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Drew doesn't like all this golf talk.
no, I'm trying not to fall asleep. What I want to switch gears to is so you went out this year to New Mexico, and you caddied for the one and only Michael Little.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how you felt about the trip and the Michael's already told us about his experience.
For sure.
How was it from your experience as a caddy getting there and not having clubs and being able to try to coach somebody that you're caddying for that doesn't have his equipment?
For sure, yeah.
It's a good question, Drew.
That's a great question. So it was difficult. There was just a lot of moving parts. It was tricky. Mike is like a high energy person, so he's a high energy guy.
He said that in a very nice way.
No, yeah, for sure. In the best of ways, though, right? Like everyone has a different personality. You and I blend really well. Me and Drew blend really well. But if caddying for you and caddying for him are 2 different jobs.
Oh yeah. I
So.
agree.
You better have a backpack full of high.
Mason Dixon.
Excuse me, Mason Dixon.
Both. I think we can mix both. I think they're both good. Any type of spirit.
Hey.
I think the high news lead into Mason Dixon at that point. At 8%, 16%, 10%.
If I start
They're
out
pretty, dude. They're solid at 8%. These are solid.
No,
if
These
I
are
it's 10.
if I
This one's
start
10.
out at
Jeez,
8 or
they're 10.
10%,
Bourbon and cream
I'm
soda.
not gonna make it past the 6th hole
Yeah.
before I'm gonna just be like, I'm hitting just hosel rockets.
especially at 7:30 a.m. at 40 degrees and
Left-handed
30-mile-an-hour
hosel
winds.
rockets. But yeah, I mean, so I just say it was chaotic. It was a lot of moving parts. He's high energy. It was an awesome experience on my end because I know at some point that I'll play in a few of them and hopefully qualify for one at a PGA, and that's my goal. I want to be a top teacher in the world, and I want to qualify for big events and play the majors, play the biggest events. Michael Block was a huge inspiration. That was awesome to watch. I've known about him for a few years. It's kind of a new. Everyone thinks he's like just showed up, but he's been that guy in Southern California for 20 years.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of people are like, oh, I just found out about him. He's that guy.
They don't
He's
watch
on the-
enough. They don't know enough about golf. If they
He's
just found out
actually
about
while we're filming this, he's gonna be on the ESPYS tonight. So.
Oh,
you know,
that's awesome.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be on the ESPYS.
That's
so
it's sick.
again, his
it.
career.
Did he win?
I don't know what he's going to be on there for, but I just know that he's going to be a part of the ESPYS.
Yeah.
It was,
Again,
his hole in one was like
his
being
game
It's like
is
shot of
his
the
game
year or
is just
something.
completely blown up, and
Yeah.
it's great to see. But going back to being in New Mexico,
Yeah. So basically, caddying for Mike was awesome. It was awesome. It was a great experience. His kids are awesome. Family's awesome. We had a great time. Having no clubs was tough. Like, you're dealing with club reps, and then you're dealing with kind of TrackMan, and I don't really want my player getting into something like running down that rabbit hole. So I was like, there's a couple times where he has a club in his hand. I'm like, don't fall in love with it. Like, let's just make our good swing. He got a full shout out to Titleist again. We're doing a lot of shout outs tonight, but they helped him out there for a little bit. If his
Big
clubs,
time.
if his
Thank you,
clubs don't
Titleist.
come- Yeah, if his clubs don't come, he's probably going to be using a pretty full bag of their equipment because they were just like, here you go, like we'll do what we can. But I'm always weary of like pushing a fitting quickly a couple days before a huge event. Like really for a PGA of America member, that's the biggest event of the year.
Oh, it's a major.
By far, it's a
biggest
major.
event I've ever played in my life.
Right. The ropes are up. It's high energy. It's a grind, 4-day grind.
TV cameras.
Yeah, TV cameras involved. Golf Channel covers it, and it's something where you don't want him to run down that rabbit hole. And as a coach, coaching him, helping him on his game, you just don't want to see him like make a change because everyone adjusts to their equipment. If I put a regular flex shaft in his hands, he's going to adjust differently than what he was playing for 6 months. So it's one of those things you just have to be cognizant of. Like, hey, this could go kind of sideways, but let's just keep making our good swing. So a lot of moving parts. Great trip. We had a great time. We didn't make the final cut, but we made the secondary cut, and I mean, I think we both learned a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
You learned how to
100%.
obviously dress the same because you two morons went to Walmart and bought the same outfit.
We
Because
lost
we think alike.
all of our shit. We do
We had
think
nothing,
alike.
Drew. We had nothing.
I don't care. You could at
Same
least
underwear
said,
for
I'm
like
not buying
for like
this.
what over 48 hours.
Well, no,
Same
dude,
underwear?
I think
You could have been like, all right, you get that. I'm getting this.
no.
'cause we're
What
not
happened
dressing
was,
the same.
I'll tell you the story. I go, man, it's like Heather Gray. I'm like, man, these Heather Grays look pretty good. And he grabbed like blue. He had like blue in his hand, and he goes, no, this isn't gonna match my shirt. He puts the blue back, and he goes, yeah, those Heather Grays are nice, and just grabbed them. So we rolled with it. It was gold.
He totally stole your idea, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
I didn't copyright it.
I mean, we're at Walmart, dude. Like your options are very limited. at
Everything's
Walmart.
locked up in Albuquerque. They lock everything up.
We've already went
Yeah,
down
yeah.
that meth road.
I haven't watched every
We went down
episode,
that
so I don't
road.
know. but-
Yeah, we went down there. That's so bizarre to me. But again, the fact that you guys went and picked out similar outfits, the fact that you guys don't have pictures standing together or anything like that is
Drew, this is how it went down. So we're in Walmart, and he went one direction, I went the other direction. All of a sudden, our backs are together in the same spot, looking at the same clothes. Like that's literally how it worked out.
in the
This would be
dressing room.
nice.
Not in the dressing room, no, no. But I'm like, oh, Nick, there you are, and he's like, there you are, and I'm like, you getting this? He's like, yeah, I'm getting this. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, cool.
And American Airlines paid for it all.
All of it. Thank
they
you, American
really?
Airlines.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, really? Oh, that's pretty cool.
We got
So
a
you
credit back.
That's pretty cool.
Well, they lost our shit for fucking kind of a long time. It was
Yeah,
gone.
I mean, it was what? It was
3 days.
50. It was like 50 something hours.
Yeah.
Well, that's
a little
because
more?
you morons pack everything
than
in your golf bag.
I didn't though.
No, it was like 72 hours.
I had my socks and underwear. I didn't have anything else.
You had underwear on because when we went to Florida, by God, I don't think you wore underwear the entire time. Is what I heard.
No, that's what you think, bro.
No, that's not what I think. Someone said Nick ain't wearing underwear, and I was like, really? I'm like, I don't know who told me
It's
that.
just
But
the outline, dude. Relax.
I was like, I don't understand why he's not wearing underwear. But
He must have been in the pool.
We didn't have a. Was there a pool?
Oh my God.
Not a pool that you went
Oh,
in.
there
right?
was a pool.
There was a hot tub.
There was a pool, and I think
there
I
was
said
golf
I would
carts.
jump in it one night if somebody would. We were playing cards or something, and I was like, whoever gets the low card has to jump in the pool. And of course, they flip over 2 for me.
I was sleeping at that point, dude.
Well, you know what? The party didn't begin until you went to sleep.
Every night.
Every night. So we had a great trip in Florida. You had a good trip in New Mexico.
Awesome.
What's going on right now with you, and what's your next tournament that you plan on playing in?
So, yeah, that's a good question. I'm playing in just some local Philly PGA stuff, and then state open qualifying coming up at my home club, currently over at Radley Run. So that'll be awesome.
I'll
And
be there.
yeah, you'll be there. I know. I'm nervous about the T-ball on 9. It's a huge dog leg right to left. You got to aim the sucker out of bounds, so I'm kind of like weary of it. But long story short,
Snap hook 5 wood, bro.
yeah, dude, I don't carry it. I got to figure out the hole. I haven't played enough golf there. I've only played probably 5 times there. So, yeah,
Want me to caddy?
and play.
No,
So-
do you want me to caddy? That would be even better.
Maybe. But yeah, I'm playing in some local stuff, and then I'm getting up for Corn Ferry Tour pre qualifying in Brunswick, Georgia, coming up. I think it's like September, so I'll be doing that shortly. But I'm looking forward
What
to
the
it.
fuck are you doing, man?
popping
Like,
open a
there's
drink.
bottle openers, and you brought like the Walmart, like the wall mount. Like, what the hell?
It's a 54 wall mount.
I get that, but there's bottle openers. There's like simple like bottle openers. You're like, oh, this will work. Hang
I'm
on.
gonna hang that thing up soon, right behind me.
It was already hanging in the.
No, we got 2 of them, Drew.
Jesus Christ.
Long story short, I got a couple good events going, but I'm looking forward to it. So, always grinding on the game, always working at it.
Well, you know what? I enjoyed playing with you. I think it was a treat. That was the first time we actually got to meet.
Yeah.
And we kind of hit it off. You and I, well, it's more me because you're really busy and I'm not nearly as busy. But we exchange text, it seems like, on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's
more
regular.
me sending you just stupid shit.
Some music,
Mostly music.
which we love.
But I think it's a pure enjoyment to play golf with you.
I appreciate that.
When we were down in Florida, how many days were we down there?
3 days.
3 days. Okay, 2 of the 3 days, I couldn't get off the tee box.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, just terrible. And you gave me 1 or 2 tips, and on the last day, it's like it all came together, and I started getting off the tee. And I haven't forgotten those things.
It's good.
And, I don't have many days where I'm not getting off the tee well. And I look back at that moment, and it's like, just little help from teaching professionals, people that are trying to get people better at the game. If you listen to them, boy, they work out. It's the people that listen to them and just go back to their old ways. We all know them.
Yeah.
We all teach people like that.
It's called YouTubers, Drew. It's the people that watch too much YouTube.
Yeah. It's a real fake situation.
And that's like our biggest like I don't know the word. I can't think of the word right now. But
YouTube's terrible for a golf swing.
Oh, it's the biggest kryptonite that we have because it's like people get on there and it's like, oh, you need to do this, and it's like, or they show a swing and it's like, and then they show a swing with a check mark, ching, and it's like, come on, like,
well, it's like a clickbait type of thing. Like, there's a lot of good instructors, a couple top instructors in the state that like. They have some good videos, and it's a lot of clickbait, and it's like a really generic video. They want you to get involved more, but the generic videos, they hurt most players. Some of the information's good, but there's a lot of it that you're like, man, you could really throw that out. Mike Adams would say 99% of the information is good. You got to find the 1% that's right for you. And most people never search that 1%. They never, they just think they chase the other 99, they never find the one. That's my biggest thing is I've learned from a lot of great mentors and for myself, sometimes the machine can glitch. The machine doesn't mean that it's broken. It just glitched. Our minds are supercomputers. If they glitch, we just have to kind of reset them and keep on the path in which we started. I think too many people go, man, I took a 30-minute lesson. I threw that out. Didn't work in 4 swings, and now I'm just going to, whatever, it's gone. But we need to stay the course. You need to create a plan, and you need to work towards your plan. If you're not working towards something, we really don't have there's no substance to grab onto. It's just kind of worthless.
you never see results.
Never. No, you never will. That's my biggest thing is find the information that works for you and hammer it till the cows come home. If I could go back in time, I'd find the information that was working at that time for 3 or 4 months straight of not shooting over 72, 73, and I'd hammer that shit home. Hammer it home.
Yep.
Tell all my juniors that.
I'm currently right now, I've been teaching a guy that's like a 29 or 30 handicap.
Mm-hmm.
And the little things that we've been working on, he's now down to a 24, 25.
Awesome.
And he is thrilled.
Yeah.
Absolutely thrilled. And it's progress. And 100%. I keep telling him, I was like, you got to keep working towards progress. You can't backstep. Yep. And a lot of golfers that we all teach know that. That's like they try something out, it doesn't work once or twice, and it's like they don't know what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's not the grading scale. You can't go once or twice or 3 or 4 times. You have to really work at it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think a lot of the times we teach some people that just aren't willing to continually work at it.
Yeah.
Well, some of the issue is golf instruction is very expensive.
Yeah, definitely.
And, you know, like, all right, let's just take school as an example. You go 5 days a week. You don't take golf lessons 5 days a week. You don't have constant follow-ups, right? You're not being tested on what you're learning. It's just, okay, come in, take a golf lesson, right? All right, yeah, do this. Yeah, it looks good, let me play on my phone while they're hitting some balls. Okay, right? Like that's what you get a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So, that's why people go to YouTube to find information. Because they're
cheap.
not getting
It's
educated.
It's free.
It's free, but they're not being educated when they go into these lessons. It's about educating the student.
100%.
I could sit here all day and say, Drew, do this, Drew, do this. But if you don't know why that works, it's not going to help you. And that to me is one of the biggest flaws that I see in a lot of instruction is that there's not enough education to the player and not enough follow-up. Like all of my students, I don't have a lot of students, and I don't want a lot of students because I show all of my students 100% of my attention. So, like if I brought out a new student this week, okay? Today's what? Today's Thursday? No.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday. I saw him on Monday, okay? I'm going to see him tomorrow, all right? And I'm going to see him again on Sunday, right? And that's all rolled into the package because we need to keep going. And I told him, I said, look, we're not going to see each other on Thursday if you're not practicing Tuesday, Wednesday. And you need to put in your time with it as well. And look, is this bulletproof? Is it perfect? I don't know, right? But it's working.
It's your way.
It's working. It's my way, and it's working for the students. And Nick showed me a lot of this as well. And Nick and I talk a ton about instruction and a ton about, especially when it comes to putting. We talk a ton about putting. And
why don't you talk to me about putting?
Because you don't ask questions. Nick asks questions.
But you've witnessed how bad of a putter I am. Like I
already told you what you have to do, and you didn't do it.
No, first off,
what do you want me to do? You are that student that we're talking about right now.
First off,
you're that guy.
First off, I have you on video saying this is the worst putter on the planet, and I did hit it short, and I had a couple choice words, but there was no advice on what to do. Now, given I did make a mistake. I changed the grip on my putter, which completely threw off the weight of the putter.
Swing weight's gone.
And I am like putting like
gone. What'd you put on
gone.
it?
It's
130 gram Sweet Rolls putter grip.
What? 130 gram grip?
First off, it's got chili peppers on it. I was like, this is hot like chili peppers.
Out of your mind, dude. So I come from a background of like club building, club fitting, and instruction. And any club builder would be like, no, don't ever put a 130 gram grip on
I didn't know that what it is what it weighed.
Yeah.
I also have one that's a Taco Tuesday one that actually is pretty cool. I won't put it on. I've got it, but I'm not putting it on.
Bad play.
But I'm just telling you, I am putting with a cinder block right now.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating, but I'm waiting on Callaway to send me a brand new grip to put on there. That's the same grip that I had before, but it's.
Drew made a lot of putts in Florida too.
He did,
other than when the pressure was on. Well, he did make some pressure.
He made a couple good ones down the stretch. Yeah, we got our money back.
But I'm telling you, I thought it was cute. I thought I was gonna put in. People would say, "Oh, you're making putts." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm hot like chili peppers." No, it was stupid. It was a stupid thought that I had.
He wonders why he doesn't get better at golf.
Exactly, because I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking about walking in putt saying, yeah, chili pepper. But it's something that a decision that I made. And I will point this out. You told me when I was working under you, do not mess with anybody's putter unless they are adamant about you changing the putter. And we're talking about the grip.
Yeah. And
you were 100% correct in it. There are so many guys that you'll see their putter. You can see like the underlyings of the grip, the strings that are basically hanging off the putter. They're still putting with it because it's what they feel. They everything feels good to them.
Sure.
And to this date, when someone comes and brings their putter and it's like, I want this new grip on that, I'm like, are you really sure about that?
Just send them to me. I'll take care of them.
Well, there's a definite reason why guys like Tiger and Steve Stricker have like very rarely changed grips. I mean, Stricker used the same grip for 15, 20 years. Lambkin Crossline with the cord in it, and Tiger with that ping, with the blacked out ping.
I was gonna say he had a ping on a Scotty Cameron
for 25 still for 30 years. So like, there's a definite reason why the best do what they do. Like I said, you got to find what works for you. Hammer it home till the cows come home. It can only get better and better and better. It can't really get worse. If it's decent, just improves. Can't get worse.
Oh, it can get worse.
So Nick yelled at me for what I did this year. I was putting really good with my putter, and I decided I wanted to change it to 33 inches.
Yeah.
I cut it down, and I basically threw the putter in the trash can. I couldn't use it.
Yeah.
So I went from 34 to 33. So then I finally got the marriage back to where the weight and swing weight's where I want it. And now I just grip down on the 34-inch so I don't disrupt anything. And I putt good again.
Please explain to the audience why you went from a 34 to a 33.
Why? Because of where I put my eye line over the golf ball and the position that I put my arms. Because I want to feel as if my right arm and the club shaft are in line. And now all I'm doing is rocking my shoulders back, rocking my shoulders through. And I don't want any lines in there. I want one continuous line from my arms to my putter shaft. So I pushed the putter upright. I pushed the putter to 72-degree line angle, okay, and I made it shorter to get my eyes over it more and let my arms hang down more. So the more upright you go, effectively, the shorter you need to go with that putter.
Yeah.
So Sean, hopefully in this pod you can put a cloud over my head where it's just got a bunch of question marks, like just ding, 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 ding.
That's where your brain went.
Yeah, that's exactly where my brain went.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Just get in the studio with me, and then you'll leave there even more confused.
It makes
no,
sense.
I'm kidding.
No, I totally get. I
totally
get what you were saying. So it didn't work, and you threw it out.
No, that was fine. The issue was the weight of the putter changed.
Yeah. Now you lighten the swing weight.
And that's what
I
I'm
lightened
dealing
up the
with.
swing weight. That's what you're dealing with it too a little bit. I lightened up the swing weight. I lightened up the overall weight. Okay, and I just couldn't control the putter face, and I couldn't control the way the ball came off. So I need that certain weight and that certain feel for me to be able to control the golf ball coming off the blade.
Yeah.
And
I disrupt that.
And me pre-changing my putter grip, my putter literally felt like air in my hands.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I had the stroke down, and now it's like, man, I have no idea what the ball is going to do right now. I'm pushing a lot of them because the weight's there.
There's too much acceleration.
That too.
Becomes a problem.
I'm so excited about making those putts that
walking them in like chili.
Exactly.
Like, who does that? Seriously, what person in the golf business does that?
When I think about that's just absurd.
I want to meet everyone that's like you that does that.
Nothing is better than walking in a putt. Nothing is better than walking in a putt. But nothing is worse than walking in a pool and it doesn't go in. So you walk it in, you're like, oh, didn't go in.
Ask him about the putt I walked in at Bluebell on him.
Don't even talk to
What'd you do?
Literally.
You walk in a lot of putts, though.
So, Nick, the ball was no lie like 4 inches off the blade, and I started walking. And it went in. I was walking no matter what.
You were walking no matter
what. Just to irritate him.
Yeah.
Center to come.
But see, what actually made me more irritated is I came from work, and I had a pair of pants on that were like sweltering hot.
Yeah.
And it was for the 4th of July, so I had some nice pants on, red pants on, Nike. And I said, I called Michael up and said, I either have to go home and get new pants or you've got to bring me some pants. And this fool brought me a pair of pants because we wear the same waistline. You know, we wear the same kind of pants or whatever. He brought me a pair of pants that he hasn't worn in like 20 years. First off, I felt like everyone's dad in these pants. Number one, they were
pleats in them? Are they pleated?
No, they weren't pleated. That was the only thing it was missing. That was the only fucking thing it was missing. They were, first off, if it rained, I wasn't going to get my pants wet because they were high. And they were this wide at the bottom.
I like higher pants, so he just didn't have them tapered in.
I got them from Pacific Somewhere, I believe.
They
Remember
were
that
so
story?
wide.
I like short. If you go shorter, the better. I don't.
I
like
mean,
stuff hanging
it
over
was.
the shoe.
It was. I literally felt like I was everybody's dad out there playing. I was like, "Hey guys, look at me." I mean, my pants were awful, But I will say I got the ball around there. For the first time
good
playing
golf
at
course.
Bluebell, it's a great golf course.
It's fun.
It's a fun golf course too.
It is fun.
So, getting back to our trips that we've taken together down in Florida, what was your what kind of experience, and what would you say was your best part of the trip?
Man, that's a good question. I mean, the trip was good. I mean, everyone that we were with they were awesome guys, right? We did a little pro-am event there, so it was awesome. All the guys were just a treat to be around. We made some grilled out some food, some steaks, some burgers, and
I don't remember that because I was not awake for that.
You, sir, were asleep.
Day one.
Oh man, but it was good. Everyone was just enjoyable to be around. Everyone wanted to learn and play, and we were grinding on our games and did a little bunker stuff, some short game stuff, some putting stuff, and it's all good things. I mean, whenever you get a group of people that want to learn golf and play better golf, it's a win. So it was awesome. It was a real treat. It's a pleasure to be with you now, and it was a pleasure to meet you then, and we had a great time, and Michael as well. So it's all good things. Anyone, like I said, anyone who plays golf, they're dope. They're so cool.
So when I got in the car and I had already had 2 high noons with me, what was your thought? Were you like,
hold
this
on, hold
guy?
on. The audience needs to know that this was at 5 a.m.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. The 5 a.m. pickup of Drew Lock.
5 a.m. pickup.
Yeah,
with
no,
Drew.
I was like, who is this fucking guy? Like, what is this? I'm like, what is this? Or is this? Is Ashton Kutcher gonna come out? Like, am I punked right now?
And he was all loud in the car.
Yeah.
It's 5:30
He's like, yeah,
in the
can't
morning.
wait to go. I'm like, what?
I was amped.
You
We're
were
all
was
still
definitely
asleep.
amped.
Yeah.
And he inspired me, and I'm like, all right, well, let's go get a shot.
Yeah,
you
at
know,
the
all right,
airport.
I'll join you, Drew. Why not?
You got shot, and I got more high noons or more something. And
I'm looking at Ian.
Shout out
Who
to
is this
Trenton
guy?
Airport, by the way.
Oh yeah.
That place is great.
that place was packed.
Never
It
go
wa-
back there.
No, look, it's one terminal, man. It took us what, 2 minutes to get in?
Security
We parked our car and we walked our bags.
It was
in.
packed.
Security was non-existent. I could have walked through there with anything.
Yeah,
Just
not a lot of
I did.
security.
Crip walked on the plane. It was done.
Yeah, but my shot was like $2 for a shot.
It was good. Yeah, no, it worked out.
And it was like premium too.
It
It was
worked
good.
out.
So when we were down in Florida, we had dinner one night. I think it was the last night we were there,
Yeah,
and we had a really good time.
a great time.
I had a good time.
Awesome time.
Great meal. My question to you is, we had 2 carts that were 8-passenger carts, and we had a total of, what do we have, 9 guys down there with us? 8, 9, 10 guys with us, 12
Yeah,
guys.
It was
I
8.
can't count.
There's
but
8 of us.
7 of you guys got in one of the carts, and then you wouldn't get in my cart, and you left me to drive by myself. So what was the feeling and the reaction and the reason behind that?
I'm racist, bro.
White power. So that's the reason you didn't get in the car with me.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
But
Yo,
it
you're
was.
from Tennessee, Drew. Come on, man.
I mean,
know what
no,
they do
Drew. I
down
mean,
there.
it was we just didn't feel safe.
Oh no, yeah, you were
How-
cooked. You were cooked.
Remember,
until
you almost killed us a couple times
No,
in that car.
no. You didn't feel safe, but yet you guys tried to dodge me on every corner that we could possibly get. You were trying to lose me.
We know.
It was so
Drew.
funny because your cart was so heavy with everybody in it. My cart was so light. I was just catching right up to you.
You were catching up.
And then you guys did some kind of like 180 in the subdivision, and I did it like faster than you guys did it. And
You're welcome for that. I was the driver.
I'm just saying
We
that
had
I took offense that nobody wanted to ride back with me because we were having a good
I
time.
love
Drew,
you,
if-
bro.
if
I
we-
love you, dude. That's
If
funny.
someone drove back with you, we wouldn't be talking about it right now, and that's the whole point of it.
That is true.
We
yeah.
knew you would bring it up in the
There
future, and
wouldn't
that's
be
why
a
we
story
did it.
about it. You're right.
I needed more eyes. If I had more eyes, I'd have been fine.
You needed help, bro, that night. That was
But then, I remember when we got back to the condo, there was a big thing about who's tracking us. Do you guys remember that?
Oh yeah,
About
someone put an
how
air tag on
the
us.
air tags on the carts, and like,
Yeah.
man, people have been and we were let's just
I fell asleep with my 9-iron that night.
We were in it.
You weren't protecting me. I know that.
Dude, I was going to be killed first. I was in the room right in front of the door. Like, you walk in and you're in my door. You could have killed me first. But it was so funny that people, like, two of the guys thought we were being tracked by people in the neighborhood.
Well, yeah, your phone was, no, it was Nick's. Whose phone was it?
It wasn't
One of your
mine.
phones.
It was one of the brothers. It was
one of the brothers, and then I think it was Jason, and then I thought it was one of us.
It wasn't me.
Maybe not.
No, it wasn't me. But, and then we went out to the cart with the flashlights on our phones, and we were trying to find
the air tag. That's
the
right.
air tags.
They put it up. We never looked underneath the cart.
We never looked
Dude,
underneath.
I think I was just grilling up those steaks and just chilling. I wasn't even worried about getting tracked.
Yeah,
That
was
funny
fine.
though. That was a funny. Yeah, that whole thing was funny.
Yeah,
that
it
was.
We had a good trip. I mean,
It was a great trip.
I mean, I will.
Pinehurst.
Pinehurst was
Pinehurst
a.
next.
We
Pinehurst
need to
is
do
next.
that.
Shout out
We've
anyone
got-
who wants to do a pro-ham, Pinehurst.
All right. So the reason why you have to do Pinehurst.
Well,
right?
I can tell you.
Why?
I've done it several times.
Why? Let me hear.
Number one, the price point is solid.
Okay, it's solid.
one.
Yeah.
The variety of golf courses.
Okay,
Number
solid.
two,
Yep.
The area, number three, Pinehurst, Aberdeen, Tobacco Road.
You're missing it. Keep going.
The lodging.
Keep going.
Ooh, I don't know then. I've gone there I go there every year with my boy. With one of
Drew,
my
come
friends.
on. You were with me. You got to say it.
First off, you go there every year with your boy, and you haven't invited us.
We've done it 2 years.
Well, we
in a row
haven't
now.
known him a year yet, so
Yeah,
we
we've
can
done
let
it-
him slide.
We do it We've done it 2 years in a row.
We're going again now. All right, what is it? What's the best part about Pinehurst?
The putting green.
Thank you. 18-hole putting course with drink holders.
All right, I wasn't
Drink
even thinking
holders,
about that.
18 holes, and you're
Another
just.
one of my boys made an ace on the cradle, the par three.
No, well, the cradle's really good too. I kind of left that
The
out.
cradle's good.
But
Don't-
when we were there, it was like 45 degrees, so
yeah.
it wasn't like the party that the cradle normally has.
Yeah.
So the party was on the putting green now. But Pinehurst, please just let the putting green be open a little bit longer, right? I mean, it was like what 9 o'clock, maybe 9 p.m., and they shut it all down.
They got the lights there though too.
Yeah,
I
but
would-
they shut it down. It was like 9 o'clock. They shut it all down.
Pinehurst's a great
yeah.
place. I love it over there.
It's kind of a blur to me. I mean, when they shut it down, I mean,
It's
I-
a blur. It's a fucking blur for sure.
it is a blur. I don't remember when they shut it down. I just remember going back and having a meal at our room. But other than that, Pinehurst is a trip for everybody to
Everyone.
go.
The best. It
I
is
mean,
the best.
if
North,
you don't
south.
if you don't go down there and spend 2 or 3 days there, I mean, what's great about it is like we were going from off property to another course, and we hit up this barbecue joint twice. And we ate
Smoking.
in the car. That's how good it was. We were just like,
right.
we were just like just
We couldn't
cramming.
get a reservation, so we had to get it to go and eat in
Got
the
it to
car.
go and ate in the car, and it's
Definitely.
just like it literally just is right there. Pinehurst is every golfer's dream.
It's the best.
It really
the whole,
is.
That whole area, like Mid-South Club, Pinehurst, Tobacco Road, Pine Needles, Mid-Pines, unbelievable.
Let's not talk about Tobacco Road.
And
I haven't gotten on it yet.
well,
we played 9 holes. Well, Drew didn't, but
three
I did.
players played 9 holes. I went and just rode around. Actually,
threw up.
No,
Did
I
you
did
love
not
it?
throw up.
He
I
made
did
me-
not.
He made me pull over the car
I thought I was
after
going
we played
to.
9 holes at
But here's
Tobacco
the thing:
Road.
is they would not let me get a Red Bull and vodka, 2 of them.
No.
So I had to walk out and put one on like the seat outside and come back in and get another one.
That's yeah.
So you ready for this, Nick?
Yeah.
After that trip,
At Tobacco Road.
well,
Yeah.
we went to
The
Pinehurst,
Pinehurst
then we
trip.
played Tobacco
I'm
Road
there.
and
I
back home.
got you.
I literally said to myself, I'll never hang out with Drew ever again in my life.
And now we have a podcast together, guys. Fuck you.
I swear to you, I was like, I hate this dude. I'm like,
That's fucking
this
funny.
is the most annoying person I've ever been around. Because think about my position. I was the head pro
Yeah,
at Lookaway
yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
Right. Drew's the assistant there, right?
You're like, this guy,
And
I
I'm
can't
like-
believe I hired this guy. He's
Yeah.
just lost his job. At that
Right, yeah,
point.
because I'm like, oh, I'm all high and mighty. I'm a head pro, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
and I wasn't-
videotaping. I am fucking just showing people shots. I'm like, I having people videotape my shots, and there's a couple of them are like, I hit a bad shot, and I'm like, they're like, oh, that's in the shit, and I'm like, is it really in the shit? And they're like, everybody's like, yes. And it's like, but I get it. I understand. I probably didn't act the best, but at the same time, I had fun.
Oh no, I still had fun. Don't get me wrong. I still had fun. I enjoyed myself, but I had my top button done. Let's just say that.
Oh God.
My
damn.
top button was done that but that was a different part of my life. So
Yeah.
it's all good. But Nick, I do want to touch on a couple things
Come on,
before
please.
we wrap things up.
Yeah.
So, can you touch on like when you decided you wanted to be an instructor, who you learned under, and what you did to get to the point you are today? Because I've taken a lot of golf lessons in my life. I've talked to a lot of really smart people in my life. I still talk to smart people, and I will still take golf lessons with them.
Yeah.
But you're my guy. Like,
Appreciate that.
you know, you're my guy. When I need help, the accessibility is there because we got a great relationship. So the accessibility is there. But what you showed me leading into the National Club Pro, you know, between the help between you and Braden, you know, it really is game changing.
Yeah.
And the things that you're teaching, I'm now starting to incorporate a little bit of that with my teaching and what I show my students. Just the other day, I called you about one of my students struggling on things, and we incorporated, you know, your instruction within that. And can you just touch on that and just, you know, number one, what inspired you to want to become a top instructor in America, and what are you doing now to get there?
It's a great question. So, yeah, it's a long road, right? Like I tried to learn it. Once I went to go reinvent the wheel, I tried to learn it for myself, right? I learned from a million guys. Jeff Costin, best in the Pacific Northwest for 25 years, played on the Champions Tour, and Mike Adams and
George Gangas.
no, not George Kakis. God damn it. Michael Jacobs is one of my biggest mentors right now, and will continue to be. He's like my brother in golf, really. So there's been a handful.
That hurts my feelings.
Well, you are.
Sorry,
as well.
sorry. Go on. Sorry.
Jacobs is just one of those names that like he works with Padraig Harrington. He's world class, right? World class. Brian Manzella as well. I haven't gotten with Brian yet, but we're kind of working through some things, and I'll be with those guys in the fall. But I tried to learn the game for myself. And basically I learned 25 or 30 different methods from the top 100 teachers, Jimmy Ballard, Mac O'Grady, Costin, Adams, Jacobs, a million of these guys. I'm forgetting a million of them. But I went out and I sought them out. We spent ample time together. And I just said, I want to be on the PGA Tours. What would you do? How do you do this? And I just learned their deliveries and their approaches and their ideas and their concepts, and I melted it into kind of my own kind of system that I kind of have. But yeah, it's been something where I'm teaching a lot of variations of a lot of different things. I think Jacobs is one of the best, biomechanics and making the body move dynamically for the player, and then teaching them how to do it. That's the biggest thing. But I like I said, I learned from trying to get it myself. That was the biggest thing for me. So I tried to find it for myself, and now I just teach it to other people, and I give them the variation that they might need.
So if someone is going to take a golf lesson from you, let's just say they're a 15 handicap, are they learning the same thing as another 15 handicap, or are you teaching? I mean, I know you mentioned it earlier, but can you just elaborate a little more on it? Like, what are you doing? Do you have any examples to show what you're doing different with two different people?
So, yeah, 100%. So a lot of, like, your not-so-good players, they don't really, like, pivot or turn their body. Jacobs would call it, like, twist their body to their top of their backswing position. So a lot of players just don't know how to, like, turn or twist properly. A lot of people sway to the right and then sway to the left.
Yep.
Whip the club inside, come over the top of the golf ball, kind of hit these weak slice shots, or face gets left and they hook it. But every lesson is a little bit of a different variation. Every single lesson. I don't give one same. I try and get the pivot in the right spot, and then everything else is a different variation to get it in the similar spot.
So you're trying to put people basically, I'm just going to try to dumb it all down.
Please, yeah.
Fundamentals are all going to be the same.
Yes.
And then tendencies are going to change
Depending on the player. Everyone has a different tendency. That's a great word you use. Like, some players out of the rough, a 30-yard pitch shot might leave every single one short, and some might bang it 30 feet past the hole. So it's about tendencies. Every player has a specific tendency. We're born with that naturally.
Yeah, of course.
So it's about, picking out their tendencies, picking out what they like or don't like about what I'm helping them with. I mean, listen, Tiger Woods has worked with 6 or 7 different coaches, reinvented his game a million times, and I'd venture to guess, he's probably only listened to 5 or 8% of any of those coaches, max.
I think that's fair.
You've got to find what works for you, like I said, basically find the tendency, find what you do, find what you like about what the instructor's teaching you. It might not be everything, right? But find those pieces and then implement them. Yeah.
Got it. Do you feel like to be a good instructor, do you need to be a good player?
It's a great question. Do I think I'm a great player right now? No. I think I have the capabilities to be, but I think you have to have the potential to be a great player. I think the potential needs to be there. I think you need to have the idea of, like, what does it feel like to be coming down the stretch of a tournament with a chance to win?
Is that more coaching, though, than as an instructor?
A little bit of a mix. I think the coach and the instructor needs to know what works down the stretch. It can't just be, oh, yeah, this will work for you.
Yeah.
I think you need to have done it a couple times, at least a few times in some decent events.
And then to identify that player's tendencies
100%.
at that point as well.
100%. Yeah.
Right? Like, I know you watched it.
Yeah.
My miss down the stretch under pressure is left.
Yeah.
I think the world knows that, by the way. The world knows my miss is left under pressure.
Easy. Right? I don't know about the world. The
well,
Philly
right,
section.
The Philly world. Right? The Philly world.
Come
easy.
on.
Philly
Sorry,
world.
easy.
Facts.
Right?
Let's dumb it down a little bit.
So when do you start to put your coaching hat on versus your instructor hat? Or do you try to blend the two at all times?
I blend them at all times, yeah. The player needs to realize what they need to do to get better, and it's a mix of on-course. I love taking my students on course, and I build their swings on the range, and then you got to build another variation out on the golf course.
A playing lesson is so much more valuable to me than a on the range
It's
lesson.
valuable for sure. Mike Adams was the one guy who taught me that coming up. Is he said, like, we need to see it on the golf course. Let's go out there. We'll have a cheeseburger at the turn. We'll hang out for a few hours, and we spent a lot of time together. Jacobs is the best at identifying immediately through the biomechanics and how the body should move on what your golf swing needs to be. Like, what is perfect for you. He's the best at that. So
I need to go see him with you.
He's amazing. I think he's 25th or 28th in the world or whatever. But, I mean, rankings are, like, they're rankings, right? So, like, who knows? They're all, like, it's arbitrary list.
I don't look at it. I look at it more of, like, what word of mouth. Tell me who to go see.
For sure. You
know, talk to the other top coaches and find out where you got to go.
Yeah, where you should go. 100% agree with that. But I would say that he is, like, he's just fucking excellent. He's excellent. He's my brother in golf. He's given me a lot of time, a lot of great advice. We talk about everything top to bottom in life, which is awesome. I did the same thing with Adams, but Jacobs is just one of those guys. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him.
So would that be, say, your, like, college or your school? Like, you had to have invested a lot of money into going to see these people and, you know, walking in the room and saying, hey, I want to be my dreams are to be on the PGA Tour. Teach me how to do that. I mean, there's no way they're saying, yeah, give me $100 and send you on your way, you know?
So everyone, I think there's like an unspoken code with mini tour players and, like, getting discounts. Discounts are always, like, a thing. Like, you always ask, right? No one wants to pay $500 to go see someone for a golf lesson. So I got a lot of discounts. A lot of guys took care of me. A lot of guys gave me extra hours. Like, you might pay $250 to Adams or $150 to Adams or whatever it might have been, and he'd give you a little bit extra time. So that was always really valuable. You take note of that. Like, we say this a lot, like golf scumbags, and, like, who's gonna do the right thing by the player. And there's a handful of guys that I know personally that haven't done the right thing by the player, and there's an awful lot I've been around that always seem to do the right thing by the golfer, by the player.
I hate golf scumbags.
Yeah, well, it's like it's one of those things. Like, I think if you're in the industry long enough and you have this, a lot of guys have this, like, entitlement where it's like, I'm gonna give you this information, give me top dollar for every single hour, but it's like, I said this the other day on, like, Instagram or Twitter. I was like, it's about sharing the information.
Yep.
If anyone calls me, bro, and they're like, hey, Nick, I need help with this student, I will look at a good buddy of mine, Scott Gardner. He teaches in Arkansas. He was the first Aborigines Australian to play on the PGA Tour. Played on the PGA Tour for 5 or 6 years. And he calls me, like, a decent amount of time, like, hey, where would you go with this? Hey, where'd you get this training aid? I'm not going to charge anyone anything. I love to look at golf swings. I watch golf on TV just to look at golf swings and routines. Yeah. Like, what is Cameron Smith doing this week on the Live Tour that I enjoy? It's like not just the putting stroke, but coming down the stretch, what did he do right? So I think as instructors, we need to watch more golf.
You like his shorts. You like how short his shorts are.
They are short. What's up with that? They are short.
everybody. It
Hey,
seems
dude,
like
no, know what it is? It just helps him turn better. That's all.
no, and then he's got the sock. He kind of dresses like our intern a little bit with the
Oh.
short shorts and the socks and everything. Like, I don't get it, but you know what? Whatever works for him works for him.
It's all good.
And I'm a big supporter of that guy. But I kind of love the way that you approach the game, where if someone calls you, it's not about the dollar.
No.
It's about sharing the knowledge and trying to. In fact, I had a guy that a buddy of mine reach out to me today. He bought a net. He's showing me his swing and everything. Well, he actually took a picture of his irons, and he's got iron covers.
Oh my God,
It's tough. I threw some out
And
today.
so I
What's up,
literally
the
was like,
chili
I
peppers,
stopped
the-
what I was doing, and I FaceTimed him, and I was like, what are you doing with the iron covers on your irons? And he was like, these are the clubs you gave me. And I was like, first off, don't ever repeat that, because I never gave you iron covers. That's not something I would ever do. And we had a nice little long conversation, and like 2 hours later, he sent me a picture with the iron covers in a trash can.
Thank you, God.
And
Thank
it was
God.
like, thank God you did that, because
Amen.
he takes clients out.
Yeah, you
And I'm
can't.
like, dude, you
No.
can't take clients out with iron covers
just
on.
embarrass
your
yourself.
brother-in-law, is it?
Your
No,
family's
no.
embarrassed now.
My brother-in-law actually has good clubs. He just, whatever. We won't get into that.
Yeah, let's not. That's for
No,
another
I don't
podcast.
want to. No, it's not even discussion.
But,
I think it's great that there are teachers out there that are willing to share, but there are also scumbags that aren't willing.
For sure.
Like you reach out to them and it's like they don't
Cold.
respond.
Yeah.
They're not trying to help you grow.
Yeah.
And to me, the game of golf is helping everyone grow, and it's not about the dollar.
Yeah, 100%.
It really is about growing the game of golf and making people better at golf.
Well,
and that's our job. That is our job.
100%.
Like, both of you aren't PGA members yet, but like for me as a PGA member, like I feel like that's that's a code, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I have to grow the game of golf.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't do that, then why am I a golf pro? Why do I do what I do?
Yeah.
And then you guys are at clubs, so you guys get to see more people every single day. Where I'm at more of a specialized studio. So it's different. I'm developing different relationships than what you guys are developing. Where you guys, like Drew especially, Drew has the most reach out of all of us right now, because you're in public golf, you're seeing the most amount of people, in a year. Like, how many different people walk through the Bucks Club in a year? Like,
So far this year, 23,000.
so you're 20, but out of that 23,000, how many of them are new faces, right? Like, how many are repeat customers,
75% I'd say are new faces.
right? Like, where for you, you're seeing what? It's like 80. No, I would say it's probably over 90%,
I got 85, 90% of the membership.
right?
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. That
Yeah,
play
like-
golf, the golfing members.
Yeah. So I mean, you guys are able to see a lot of people and touch different people in different ways. Don't say anything about that, but
Well, the
it's-
difference is where I am being in public golf is you don't get a lot of guys that are willing to say, "Hey, I want to get a lesson." Where in private golf, being in that business,
that's
there's more opportunity for people that
Yeah.
want to get better because they're members at a
Members at
club.
Yeah, I'd agree.
okay. I'm not going to disagree with that, but the opportunity is there.
Oh, it's 100%
Yeah.
there. And
People aren't taking lessons at Clubhouse 54 because of Michael Little. They're taking lessons at Clubhouse 54 because of the opportunity that they're getting.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's all about providing them,
Yeah.
the right structured program to give them that opportunity to learn.
I'll
right?
say-
Like,
I'll
I
say-
can't tell you how many 15-minute golf lessons I give.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they're gonna pay for a package, and I'm charging them for, say, 6 hours. Right? They can break that down as much as they want. I don't care. They can see me 12 times within that 6 hours. They could see me 24 times within that 6 hours. Right? What does that student need? And that's like where I look at public golf. Like, if I ever got back into a club, I'm going to public as fast as I can and drawing up as many of those programs as possible to bring as many people through that door to grow the game of golf and help people get better.
Yeah.
People don't need hour-long golf lessons.
No.
They really
No.
don't. They really don't.
You spend 45 minutes watching them hit balls, and it literally, from the lessons that I've gotten being at the club that I am, I get more out of showing them what their swing looks like, what it needs to look like, what they're doing wrong, and I can do that in 15 minutes.
Give me $125, and I'll give you 5 15-minute lessons, Monday through Friday.
It's amazing how many people that I teach that just haven't seen their swing.
That's
the
it.
first 15
That's it.
minutes of every lesson I give is basically me saying, all right, warm yourself up, hit 8-iron, 7-iron. I'm going to watch you. I'm going to film these. I'm going to film maybe 10 or 15 of them, slow-mo, fast, send them all to the client. And then I'm going to just we sit down, we go back to the golf cart, we sit down, we talk about it for 10, 12 minutes. It's the first 15 minutes of the lesson.
Yep.
And then from there, we work around it. Okay, well, I see this, this, and this. Everything's cause and effect in this world, right? So, like, A causes B, B causes C. So we dial it in. We figure it out. But, yeah, so many people just don't even see their golf swing.
But there are a lot of teachers out there that will take the club out of the golfer's hand immediately.
Yeah.
And I've had 1 or 2 lessons like that, and I said I'll never go back and see that guy again because, I approach the game and from my perspective as teaching is I kind of treat it as a fine-tuned radio.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to tune a little bit to make it a little bit clearer, make you hit the ball a little bit better, have a little bit more fun. I see you over there with the bottle. I got our shots over here. We got shots going on.
When are we doing these shots?
We're doing them here in just a second, but I didn't want you to interrupt me, like explaining how I teach.
I'm just looking at it.
I appreciate that. I'm getting offensive now. Now I'm
good.
getting, but
I keep staring at it when I look over at Nick. And I'm
But-
like, you know what? When's this shot coming? I want
I
to try
think
this.
we all kind of treat it. Just tell me if I'm wrong. We kind of treat each student differently, but we're trying to just fine tune them to make them a little bit better.
Yeah.
We're not going to change them overnight.
It's rare that I reinvent the spokes on the wheel or the wheel. I just kind of like polish them off.
So
clean 'em up.
the first pro I worked for, you met him at the spring meeting
Oh,
this
he was
year.
awesome.
His name's Wally Tittlemeyer.
Wally, yeah.
Wally is the absolute best.
Yeah.
What's his last name?
Tittlemeyer is how you say it. Tittlemeyer.
It's all relative, true.
You can't like I'll smack you if you talk
Have
trash
you
on
met him?
Wally.
I'm not. No.
Wally is the best.
I'm not judging. I'm not judging.
That was my first spring meeting. My thing is too is like becoming a PGA member it's important to me, and meeting a guy like Wally who's been in the business for I'd say 35 plus years easy was like that type of stuff's inspirational. People don't realize how important that is. Like meeting mentors and meeting people who've just done what you're doing and have gone through it, and like some of it's bullshit, like 80% of it's kind of bullshitty, but like just getting it done and then getting that next to your name is important, and that's something where meeting a guy like Wally was cool.
Yeah.
And I just met him for 25 minutes probably, and we just bullshitted, but like gentlemen of the game, like guys that like really grind their balls off to get to the next level.
He's had a interesting road through the business
For sure. Everyone's is different.
So
what he said to me though, just to finish this conversation, so he was the first pro that I worked under, and he goes, whatever you learn through instruction, I want you to always remember this. He goes, take what the student does naturally and just make it better. He goes, if you do that the rest of your career, you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
He goes, because you're not trying to reinvent the wheel for the person. So
100%.
you're letting them be a little comfortable, right, to where they're not going to say, oh, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
And you're just like you're saying, right, go hammer it home.
Hammer it.
And just hammer it home and make them better at that and what they do naturally. And, I use that for forever. I still use it to this day, and it really does help.
Create a plan.
So thank you, Wally.
Yeah. Create a plan, hammer it home, get great at the few things that you're great at, and you refine the stuff that you're not so good at, and just keep getting better.
we've had a great conversation with you tonight. You're probably one of my favorites in the section. No offense, Michael.
None taken.
We have formed kind of a friendship, but you literally are somebody that I look up to. When I see you participating in these events, I want to see you do well. Even when you're not playing well to your standards, it still is inspiring for me. You're a student of the game. You are someone that people need to really pay attention to.
Yep.
You come across a guy like this, you really need to get to know him. you really need to take advantage of what they know. And, I'd be lying if I sat here and didn't say you were somebody that I looked up to in the game, even though you're half my age. But you've done some things and you've shown me some things that, show me that you really care about this game. And, there are a lot of people that care about it, and there are a lot of people that are just in it.
Yep.
And we've all met those people.
That's what a golf scumbag is, right?
Yeah.
Someone who's just in it.
You're just in it. And you're trying to make $1.
And, I can tell you, I'm not in it to make $1.
Yeah.
He's not in it to make $1. You're not in it to make $1. We're all in it to just try to grow the game and to have fun doing it.
For sure.
And if we make some money doing it,
Great.
cool.
It's the extra.
Fun. Great. But it's been a pleasure to get to know you over these last 6 to 8 months. And I look forward to anything that you're willing to share with me to help me grow.
For sure.
And I can't wait to get out there with you again, to watch you play your game. Hopefully one of these days I'll give you a little bit of run for your money.
I'd love that, man. You know that.
But I'd like to do something that we haven't done in our podcast. We're going to give a shout out again to Mason Dixon. I've already poured 3 shots. So we've got 3 shots. Sean, I'm sorry you're out of it because you're taping, and I don't know how you can handle it.
He just turned 21. We got to give him a shot.
All right, hang on.
He's shaking his head no. All right, he's shaking his head no.
Because it's like
so while Drew's doing that,
it's 35-month-old
is it 35-month-old
bourbon.
Age bourbon? Wow.
Yeah. So I've got
this one's
3.
26.
That's why I got the 35 over
My
here. I
father-in-law
chose the
loves his
35
bourbon,
over the
bro.
26. Age over youngness.
There's no date though. There should be a date.
All
on
right,
it.
so here, pass this to our guest, and then I got you one here.
Drew, can I trust you with this, Drew?
Yep.
You might be-
Definitely can.
There may be roof
Is this
in
that?
this.
Yeah, is that happy drink you had or
No,
whatever?
that's not. It's not called Trippy Sippies. It's definitely not that. Trust me, I would have done that at the beginning of the show. So, cheers to you, Nick.
Thank you. I appreciate
Cheers
it.
to Clubhouse 54.
Cheers.
Cheers to you, Michael.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers
Appreciate
to Mason Dixon.
Cheers to Mason Dixon.
Thank you, guys.
Good God. Oh, God.
That's good.
That is going to get
Yeah,
me a
that's smooth.
DUI.
Oh my
Definitely.
God. Jesus, Drew.
I appreciate it, boys. This has
You
been
know what?
fun.
We've had a good time. I don't know if there's anything we need to touch on. You got some kick-ass Air Jordans on. I wouldn't expect anything less out of you.
The Hatfield Pros.
Are you wearing underwear?
I am, yeah. Hanes.
Hanes. I got Hanes on too.
Yeah.
So I do want to ask Nick one question
Yeah, please.
Why look at me when you ask that?
because you're just rolling.
Look
with
at
this
me
ball.
when you sing it.
He's rolling with the ball.
Look at me when you talk to me, brother.
Nick, where can people find you?
Oh, man.
Scranton.
Radley Run Country Club, Tuesday through Fridays, occasional Saturday, Sunday. And then Scranton, Pennsylvania on some Mondays if I'm not playing a section event. But
What's your Instagram handle for people to
just
look you up?
Biondi Golf, and then I'm on Twitter, Biondi Golf as well. You find my cell phone numbers everywhere, so you can find it someplace. But it's everywhere. Anyone and everyone can get that thing. And,
Do you have an OnlyFans account?
I don't. I have a website, Nick Biondi Golf. I think
you
it's
go.
Nick Biondi Golf.
You should have an
.com.
OnlyFans golf account.
That'd be real. People would
So
subscribe.
nickbeyondygolf.com.
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
At Nick Biondi on Instagram.
Yeah, just type in Nick Biondi Golf on Google and you'll find it.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I
gotta
appreciate you
apologize.
guys having me on. It's been fun.
Nick, I love it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for
man.
being on.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone.
So I just want to say something because Drew always does this, so I'm going to take over.
First off,
this
he
role.
thanked Michael and everyone, and then he just looks at me
Michael
like
and
I'm
Drew?
just fucking.
Mike-
He
piece
said
of-
Michael and Drew.
Drew, Daddy.
Come on, open up
I
your
did. I
ears.
said Michael and Drew, open your ears.
Open up your ears. So I just want to say thank you to the 152,000 people that have shared an interest in our Instagram. Thank you
Preach.
so much.
Preach.
Please like, please follow, continue, give us feedback.
Tell us what we're doing wrong. Tell us what we're doing right. insult me if you want to, because I will love that, because I'm coming right back at you when you insult me. So bring it.
We're really enjoying this, and we want to just make this even better. Please give us recommendations on guests. If you are someone who wants to be a guest on our podcast, please reach out. We'd love to have you on.
We have a really
continue to like and share. Please.
We do have a strict vetting process, so it's going to be a little.
You have to go out a night drinking with Drew to get
But
on.
we do. I will. Let's leave it at this.
No
We
one can
do
pass
have some
that.
exciting news coming in the next couple of weeks.
We do. Yes.
We could we could share a little bit of it, but we're not going to.
Nope.
But tune in, keep watching.
We will be hosting a podcast in a different location. That's really what we can share about that. It'll be in a different location for one episode, and it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be an additional sponsor to the podcast, so
Cha-ching is all I'll say.
So cha-ching. Yeah, that's a good
Cha-ching.
one. That's a good one. High rollers.
Cha-ching. Whales.
All right. We look forward to seeing everybody next time. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.